You want respect, right? No, that's too soft. You don't just want respect. You want something deeper, something primal. You want them to fear you. Imagine walking into a room, no greetings, no forced smiles, no nods of approval. Silence. A silence so thick it wraps around them like a noose. A silence that makes their breath hitch, their hearts race. Because words are cheap. Actions, they're loud. But silence is a scream that lingers in their minds. Long after you've left the room. Most people believe power comes from being the loudest in the room. They believe if they talk enough, if they make their presence known, they will command respect. But that's a lie. Watch them, the ones who can't stop talking. They brag, they boast, they throw their accomplishments into every conversation like a desperate plea for validation. Just closed a huge deal today. It wasn't easy. Weeks of planning, late nights, and a relentless mindset. Every negotiation, every obstacle, every doubt thrown my way only fueled my determination. People talk about luck, but luck had nothing to do with it. It was strategy, persistence, and the ability to stay composed. When the pressure was at its peak, some people hesitate, second-guess, and let opportunities slip through their fingers. Not me. When the moment came, I didn't flinch. I didn't waver. I executed. And now, the results speak for themselves. This isn't just about money, it's about proving that discipline, silence, and calculated moves will always win over noise and desperation. The deal is done, the impact just beginning. I know the CEO personally. I've been working so hard, but people don't appreciate me. They think their words make them powerful, but in reality, they're only exposing their weaknesses. The louder they speak, the more they reveal insecurities, fears, and the desperate need for validation. They believe that talking over others gives them control, that filling the silence with noise makes them appear strong. But true power doesn't come from empty words. It comes from restraint, from the ability to say nothing and still command. Tension. Because those who speak the loudest are often the most uncertain, while those who stay silent leave others guessing, unsettled, and ultimately powerless. They don't even realize it, but you do. And that's what sets you apart. You see, real power isn't in words. It's in absence. It's in the void you leave when you refuse to engage in their games. The moment you stop explaining, stop justifying, stop proving, you become something they can't understand, and people fear what they can't understand. Ever walked into a room and felt the air shift, like something unspoken was pressing against your chest? That's what true power feels like. Not noise, not force, not aggression, just presence. The way you carry yourself speaks louder than any words ever could. It's in the way you hold your ground, the way you meet someone's eyes without flinching until they're the ones who look away first. It's in the way you sit in a meeting, completely silent, yet your presence lingers in every corner of the room. No words, no gestures, just the weight of your existence, commanding attention. They may not say it out loud, but they feel it. They recognize the quiet authority, the control, the unshakable confidence. Because real power isn't about forcing others to listen, it's about making them unable to ignore you. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to prove a point. You exist, and that alone is enough. Watch how people react when you don't speak. At first, they'll be confused. They'll expect you to fill the silence, because that's what everyone does. They'll try to draw you into their nonsense, their petty conversations, their need for validation. But you say nothing. You let them talk. You let them ramble, filling the silence with their own insecurities, their own need for validation. Every word they spill is another piece of themselves laid barren, another weakness exposed. You don't interrupt. You don't argue. You don't need to, because the more they speak, the more they reveal. And you just watch, listen, wait. Let them unravel. Let them show you exactly who they are without ever realizing it. That's the power of silence. It turns their own voices into their downfall. And slowly, they start to feel uncomfortable. They start to second-guess themselves. They start to wonder what you know that they don't. And that's when the fear begins. People don't fear what they understand. They fear the unknown. That's why they need you to react. That's why they poke, prod, and test you to see what makes you tick, what makes you break. But you don't break. You don't flinch. You don't respond the way they expect. No nods of agreement. No forced laughter. No rush to fill the quiet. Just stillness. Just presence. They wait for a reaction, growing uneasy as the silence stretches. They shift in their seats, clear their throats, grasping for something, anything to regain control. But you don't give it to them, because the moment you refuse to play their game, you've already won. They talk to feel powerful, but the absence of your response makes them realize the truth. They have no power over you. You watch, you observe, you let them unravel piece by piece, under the weight of their own insecurities. Have you ever noticed how people start talking more when they're nervous? How they overshare, laugh too much, fill every moment of silence with meaningless chatter? It's because they can't handle the quiet. Silence unsettles them, exposes their insecurities, forces them to confront thoughts they'd rather drown out with noise. Vague talk to fill the space, to reassure themselves, to avoid the weight of their own unease. But you don't need to fill the silence. You embrace it. You let it stretch. Let it press down on them until they squirm, until they fidget, until they start revealing more than they ever intended. Because silence isn't emptiness, it's power. And the ones who can't handle it, they've already lost. They don't know what to do with the space you create, so they panic. They try to control the situation with words. But deep down, they know. They know they're losing. And you're winning. You will not be like them. You will move differently, act differently, exist differently. And that means following a new set of rules. Never explain yourself. Weak men explain. Strong men remain silent. Let your actions do the talking. The more you speak, the weaker you seem. Let them wonder. Make eye contact, but never break it first. This alone will unnerve them more than any words could. Master stillness. The less you move, the more presence you command. Use silence as a weapon. The longer you go without speaking, the more powerful your words become when you finally do. People won't understand why they're drawn to you, why they respect you, why they fear you, but they will, because true power isn't taken, it's earned in the spaces between words. Have you ever been in a situation where someone was trying to provoke you, insulting you, mocking you, trying to get a reaction? Most people take the bait. They argue, they fight, they try to win the verbal battle. But you won't even acknowledge the fight. Let them insult you. Let them throw their words like weapons, and then say nothing. Watch how the energy shifts. Watch how they start to get nervous, how their words lose their power. They came in loud, confident, thinking they had control. But the moment you don't react, don't give them what they expect, the cracks start to show. Their laughter gets forced. Their eyes dart around the room, searching for reassurance. They repeat themselves, filling the silence with meaningless words, hoping to drown out the tension. But you don't move. You don't speak. And that's when they realize they're the ones on unstable ground, not you. They thought words gave them power, but now, stripped of that illusion, all they have left is their own uncertainty. And you're untouchable, because without a reaction, their attack dies in the air, and suddenly they realize they never had control over you in the first place. That's when they fear you the most. At first, they won't understand. They'll call you cold, arrogant, distant. They'll try to pull you back into their world of noise and weakness. But once they realize they can't, they will start to respect you. They will start to fear you, because you are something different. You don't scramble for approval. You don't fight for attention. You don't need to prove yourself with empty words or forced smiles, while they exhaust themselves trying to be heard. You stand in silence, unshaken, and that terrifies them, because people like them loud, desperate, insecure. They don't know how to deal with someone like you, someone who doesn't seek validation, someone who doesn't react on command. They expect resistance, an argument, a challenge. But when they get nothing, just stillness, just silence, their confidence wavers. The game they've mastered no longer works. And in that moment, they understand you're not like them. You never were, and that makes you dangerous. You are something they cannot control, and deep down, they will know. They will fear your presence without you ever uttering a single word.